All right, so what we have here is a Viking Husqvarna 6360 machine. It is a machine that I have acquired from my mom, who had a friend who gave it to her, and it is free, obviously, here, since I've given it a turn. But I don't know if it will sew, and it's been sitting for a very long time. So first things first, I'm going to take the needle out and set it aside, and see if we got a bobbin in here. No, there is no bobbin in this machine. This is a Viking bobbin case. It's a little bit different from other machines. Usually they've got the class 15 usually has the finger on the side. I think this is going to use a special bobbin as well, but I'll have to look that up. And yeah, since it's been sitting for so long, I'm definitely going to just take it apart and see if we can oil it. I'm going to loosen the foot there, raise the, it's got a low shank, and so you have to take the screw all the way out to get the foot off, it looks like, because it also doesn't have an extra high lift there, but that is a quick release foot holder, so it must have accessory feet that would be available for the machine. This is similar to the machine that I grew up sewing on and learned to sew on. So it's got color-coded pattern cams that can go in the back. So built-in is zigzag and straight, and then the pattern cams have more decorative stitches. But for now, we're just gonna take it and open this up as much as we can and look around and make sure that it's got lubrication in it. This machine would be from the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. So it's similar to the age of the Nechi that just came through here, or that I just looked at a little while ago. And that means that whatever plastic parts it has in it may be getting old and cracking if they're not being properly lubricated. Also, a problem with a lot of the thin oils and the older oils for sewing machines is that they would oxidize and turn into a waxy material. So it's always that's why these machines get stiff when you leave them. If you find an old machine, it's all stiff because the light lubricating oils that were made that were safe for fabrics would oxidize into a wax. So just gonna pull the front off the bobbin race here. There's a little bit of rust on the feed dogs there, so there's two shanks. There is a third screw. So it's got three screws that hold this plastic piece on in front of the hook. All right. So this plastic piece here looks like it's in good shape. Just needs to be wiped off. And that is the piece that keeps the hook in place. So the hook here is in good shape as well. It's got a plastic runner behind it. And now that we have that hook and stuff out, we can just stick our brush in and get brush around behind it. Oh. Okay, there's a notch on the back of the hook here, and that fits into a notch on this plastic piece here. And then the front of the hook race, this plastic hook race. And we'll put that back in place. Running into the same problem I had before, where the bit on my screwdriver is too thick to fit in these screws well. And these screws that hold the front of the hook race on have that flat shank on them, so they just need to get tightened in as far as they go. Presumably because the front here is the part that moves a little bit, so if the thread can go around the hook and the bobbin. To make the lock stitch. Alright, so we got that out and made sure there was nothing behind there. And then looks like there's 3 screws holding the top bed in here. So we'll take these off. And although I learned to sew on my mother's machine that was a similar Viking 6300 series, I think hers is a brown one, 6360 is this one, 6370 might be my mom's, I don't know. I never had hers apart. She always just took hers to the service department at the local vac place. So right, so these 2 screws are the same length, so we'll keep those over there, and then there is this screw on this end. Okay, so those 3 screws were all the same length, and that takes the whole, this whole assembly gets loose. That's real nice. So now you can see the mechanism for the feed dogs. And there. we can get in there and get all this fuzz right out of there. So I'm going to get out my oil, get some oil down in here while we've got this apart and we're looking at it. And then once we get the bottom here oiled, we will look at getting the top. Alright. Dab of oil on the there. Turn around, and the back side there's just a drive shaft and a gear here. So we'll put some oil in there. And turn that gently back and forth here. Alright. Oh. Had an opportunity for that to be opened and oiled. So we'll then get this cover back on the machine. Since everything is clean in there and we've gotten a bit of oil in it, we probably won't need to get back in here. But I'm just going to finger tight these with the screwdriver bit instead of getting them any tighter. I will, however, leave the plate off there until I get a bobbin and can test this more thoroughly, or can see it run more thoroughly. So let's explore how we might get the back end lubricants in, or lubricated. Let's see, there is a screw here, so we'll start with this one. And there was one screw here, these two clips it looks like, both of which are breaking off of the plastic here because this plastic is so old. So I'm gonna have to get some super glue for that. And then this, it looks like there was a screw here that was broken off and clipped on the end. So we're gonna have to do some serious work on this plastic trim piece, because you see it's where the spools are. So oh yep, and I just knocked this and the plastic completely came undone. So we're gonna have to put some super glue on here and in this corner and on that crack there, to get that piece back in usable condition. But there. This end just pulls loose. It's got a spring here and then up there, and I should have taken the end off to get this screw, because this is the other screw that held the back in place. And this screw is even narrower than this here. So let's see if we can get... There we go. All right. So, and then this piece was on here. So we'll have to glue that and put some glue behind this piece because it's getting loose. There's going to be a lot of spots that need some super glue to get them back in place. But both of these dials seem okay, so that's good. And taking that back trim piece off gave us access to here for oiling, and gave us a chance to look at the cam drive for the decorative cams. And though that cam drive looks like it's in good shape, it's not cracked in any way. I'm also peering, let me tilt this up a little bit. There's a screw drive here and a plastic gear for that cam drive, and I'm peering in that and looking, and it seems to be fine. Interestingly, these have a fiber belt with metal teeth crimped on it for a drive belt. So, but I'm going to get our oil. Tip this right up on the front here so that I can put just wipe this off here. And throw there. There. That should be almost everything. Now there's I'm gonna have to try and look up what the trick for getting this hand wheel off is, because this hand wheel is on the outside of this piece of trim here, and I don't want to just pry on this hand wheel if I don't know there's a trick to it, because it is plastic and I don't want to damage it. But I did seem to get pretty good access to most all of the moving parts of this machine just by getting this plastic panel off the back. So I am gonna assume that I've got the whole thing oiled up pretty well. The only thing that would be left in this bottom end here is there's a bobbin winder here, and the motor is going to be under this box here, and I don't know, and there's just going to be the other end of the shaft for the bobbin case and hook, and that shouldn't actually require a lot of lubrication, because the main lube requirements are going to be on all the cam gears and stuff here. So it should be pretty set and lubed up, and it's pretty free. So now I just have to wait and until I get a hold of some bobbins for it.